Thank you. And now please, Emily, come here.
Good evening, everybody. Steve, he said, I bet you're gonna call my name because of the microphone. Thank you, good evening. I'm gonna do a little disclosure at the beginning. Even though it's been 20 years since I'm doing this in Portuguese, every time that I'm doing English, it makes me very nervous. I was talking to Rafael back there. I'm like, oh my God, give me a passe. So bear with me. My goal is try to, send a message. Hopefully I will get that through you guys, and we will leave here feeling much better, feeling good about ourselves, especially me. Right now I'm like we were talking, there's a personal sacrifice. That's me right now here. So good evening. Tonight we're going to talk about personal sacrifice. I believe it's an easy topic since we all learned to live like that, like we all doing this right now, living in sacrifice and kindness and help, hopefully. Right, Rafael?
Sometimes.
We're going to start with Emmanuel on the lesson of chapter 154 on his book, The Way, the Truth, and the Life. He brings us a passage of Jesus that is in Matthew 19. It says, and everyone who has left houses or brothers or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my sake will receive 100 times as much and will inherit eternal life. So if we read this at once, we will understand that Jesus is telling us to renounce, to give up, leave behind, house, family, our life, our lands, and then we can find eternal life and we can find heaven. So I'm wondering if we should go home, pack our bags, say goodbye to our family members and say, hey, see you later. I'm going to go on top of a mountain. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to pray. And then that way I will find Jesus. I will find eternal life. I will find the kingdom of heaven. Unfortunately, it seems for a long time, a lot of brothers and sisters understood that way. It's still today. A lot of people would interpret this in a way that, I need to give up my family, I need to give up everything that I have and then live just for Jesus, away from everything. But Emmanuel comes to clarify to us in this lesson that Jesus invites us, yes, to renounce the things that we have in our life, the things that makes us selfish, the things that sometimes we only care, we are only concerned about the material life, our house, our lands, everything that we care and we want, it's for our family, for our brother, children, and wife and husband. So that way, Emmanuel is trying to make us understand Jesus' message, saying that's not all of it. We need to understand and balance everything in life. So it's not about forgetting our duties, our obligations with our family, with our life, but it's to find balance, not to live in a selfish mode, but open our minds. And that way we will understand that we can take all the hopes. He keeps going, Emmanuel. It is losing earth's hopes to conquer heavens. Which means sometimes all our hopes, all our chips, everything that we desire, we fight for, we have a goal, it's on the material world, material life. It's all about Earth's life. So as soon as we lose hope on that, we don't focus only on that, we start earning our space in heaven, in our, journey as a spirit. So that way we can understand. So when Jesus leave everything, that way you earn heaven, earn eternal life, it means that's not the important thing. Of course, you have your obligations. You need to care for your family and your life in general, but you need to find a balance. And then we start living a better life. So depart from only earth's desires and goals, so we can focus also in heaven's achievements. We have several examples of people that lived like that, like following Jesus' messages, and we brought some of them. One is Mother Teresa. She would say, if there were poor people on the moon, we would go there, which means it doesn't matter where, when it's a person that needs our help, that needs our assistance, we will go there. When we actually live with that kind of love in our hearts, that's what we do. That's what she did. What counts is not what we do, but the love we put into what we do. So sometimes we think we are so little. I can do only so little, or some people can do much more than what I can do. So why should I go and try to do anything? It seems that it's not going to make any difference. And then we hear those words and we understand that it's not the size of what we can do, but the love, the emotion, the care that we put on it, and that will make a huge difference. Another example is Mahatma Gandhi, another person that will show throughout his life, his attitude, his actions, how we can live with this personal sacrifice, living towards a bigger truth, a bigger purpose in life. He would say, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. Unfortunately, our society sometimes would judge people that would like to live a different life. We hear all kinds of judgments, all kinds of words from people, trying to judge how we feel, how we should feel. So we take a lot of strength, actually, to be a person that can forgive others' mistakes. Some people will call this weakness, but we can, feel in our hearts that's actually a sign of strength. And besides that, it's so much easier to let go of some stuff because at some point, this becomes like a very heavy baggage to carry with us. Every little thing that hurts us, that offends us, that we don't like, or big things in our lives that we carry over the years, this will become so heavy, a baggage, that when we forgive somebody, it's not that we are accepting their mistake, that we are agreeing, saying you're right. It's only say, I'm not going to be chained to you anymore, chained to this situation, this pain anymore. I'm going to free myself from this, and I will free you. So the universe or God or at some point, we will maybe reconnect in a better situation. And that way we can live like a better life. Also, Martin Luther King, he would say, even if I knew that tomorrow the world would go to pieces, I would still plant my apple tree. It doesn't matter outside. It doesn't matter what the other people say. It doesn't matter what the other people are doing. What's important is what you are supposed to be doing, what you are supposed to carry on. So no matter what people say, and no matter if that's not going to be what they're expecting, do your part. And he keeps going. We have learned to fly the air like birds and swim the sea like fish, but we have not learned the simple art of living together as brothers. So the way he's telling us that, we are, as far as like technology, as far as the intellectual, we are going so fast. We jumped the last century, like the last 100 years. We see the jump that we did in technology and a whole bunch of things going on in our houses, our lives. But yet, as people, we struggle to respect each other, to love each other, to understand each other, to live like brothers and sisters. So yes, we are flying like birds, we are swimming like fish, but we are having a hard time to understand each other and live like brothers. And then as a Brazilian, we could not, not mention Chico as one of these huge examples of living a life with personal sacrifice. Chico would say, if Allan Kardec had written that outside Spiritism there is no salvation, I would have gone the other way. Thank God he wrote out of charity, that is, outside of love there is no salvation. So that way, he's telling us it's not about the label that we carry. It's not only the Spiritism that will carry by itself the truth, but love, it can be done, can be felt, can be exercised anywhere. So when Allan Kardec says outside of charity there's no salvation, that means anybody and everybody can go there, can exercise this, can learn and live their way. And Chico says, if he had said something different, I would have to go another way. I could not live and embrace the Spiritism the same way. That's how big he is. That's how lovable he is. Chico is a sweet person that actually, in this sentence, will synthesize the big lesson from Jesus, love your neighbor as yourself. He was one person that actually lived that way. In our generation, we could see how he would, carry himself throughout his life. That was not easy. Sometimes we think, if I was Chico, if I reincarnate like Chico, it will be easy. I will know everything, I will carry everything. No, actually, his life itself, the way, the struggles with his health, the struggles with his financials, his family, everything was almost against this kindness. And yet, he survived everything. He survived this world. And he could live this, love your neighbor as yourself. He would love without any boundaries, without any difference to anybody. So when we go back and see what Allan Kardec says, outside charity there is no salvation, it's important for us to understand what charity means, the real meaning of charity. And the Spirit's book will tell us that charity, in 3 steps, it means benevolence towards everyone. That means being good, being kind to everyone. It's not the same person that believes on the same things that we believe. It's not the same person that has the same skin color that we do have, political views that we have, same country that we were born, nothing. Being a person, a kind person, carry on this charity feeling, the true feeling, meaning is being benevolent with everyone. Second, it's being indulgent towards the imperfection to others. We are very kind with our imperfections. We have a tendency, let's say, some people are very literate, so let's say most of us, we are very kind with our imperfections. When we make a mistake, when we have a problem, most of the time we have an excuse for it. We have an explanation that why we act that way. But we are very, very hard when the other person makes a mistake, when the other person shows their imperfection to us. So the same way we would like people to understand our imperfections, because I'm sorry, but nobody's perfect here. It's nice to have the conscience that we need also to understand that the others, our co-worker, our family member, our friend, or the person in the car next to us in traffic also is imperfect. So we need to try to start living in peace and understanding each other. And then the third point of the true meaning of charity, it's forgiveness for offenses. We were talking about Mahatma Gandhi, talking about that. The importance that we understand how heavy it is to carry those grudges. That's the way it is? Grudges throughout our life. We keep carrying them with us, like, oh, that person hurt me so bad, I would never forget, and I would never forgive. But then we are chained to that person for years and years and years. And every time that we remember what happened, we suffer. We actually physically feel that pain all over again. And most of the time, that person don't even remember about us or what happened. So it's for our own good, learn how to forgive so we can live a better and easier life. Also, Emmanuel would tell us, blessed are the rare spirits who feel the excellence of these truths in bodily life, sacrificing themselves for the benefit of their fellow men. They experience, even under the cross of pain, the gentle emotions of heavenly fortunes that await them in the perfected worlds of the infinite. Translating my broken English. Blessed are the people that already understood how important it is to serve, to be kind. The little things that we do for other people, the little sacrifices, the little things brings us such a happiness, that sensation, that emotion is a little sample of what we will feel in better worlds. The great spirits, they will help us, they will work for us with such a joy and happiness because they already reached that knowledge. They understand and they feel that every time that they help somebody or help a situation, the emotion that they feel is the same way when we do something, little things in life, that the moments that we are blessed enough to understand the importance of it, that feeling, that good feeling we feel, is what we're going to feel throughout our journey when we reach better states in our lives to come. So this rare spirits, or the little moments that we understand that we change, we live in a different way, makes us to think, how can I live up to it? To those examples that people are so powerful, they have such a light and kindness. How can I make a difference? How can I do something in comparison? First of all, we don't need to compare ourselves to anybody. Everybody has their own potential. And we can do something. Even though if it's a little bit in our eyes, it could be a huge, step on somebody else's life. So it's very important for us not to be disencouraged. Yes, sometimes we will ask, who am I to do anything? Well, you're yourself. You're you, and you can do a lot. So besides the fact that sometimes we don't have a time in our busy schedule to fit anything as a personal sacrifice or a work or be kind, we need to look in our lives and actually see the potential and find time to do it. Find opportunity, because they're all over the place. All over. We're going to see a couple examples coming up. We don't need to wait to be billionaires, to win the lottery, to start making a difference in this world. And we can, with what we have, what we are, make a difference in somebody else's life, in our lives as well. André Luiz teaches that one of the big tools for us to reach that, to start living like that, is through prayer, that connection with the divine. He tells us that the path of prayer and sacrifice is therefore indispensable, even for those who intended to dignify their lives. because the felt prayer increases the radiant potential of the mind. Every time that we really pray with felt prayer, we will expand our energy, we expand our mind, and then we can get in touch with the roots of the divine. That way we get stronger. We find ways to live differently. So prayer is a huge, beautiful tool for all of us. And then he keeps going. The creature, the people, a person does not only need to get, take away what they have left over, like a material, their change on their pockets, their money. It's not that the only way to be charitable and kind. We also need to go deeper on our personal opinion, on our mind. So it's a combination of being able to help them in a material world, but emotionally as well. Sometimes what we do, we will give what we have left over, literally. We don't give anything extra. We don't take anything from us. Emotionally, time-wise, money-wise, we just give what we have left over. There's not a step forward or more than that. So it's important for us to have this conscience that it's not only about the money, but it's about being kind. It's about feeling empathy, understand the other, not judging people. This is all part of being kind. This is all about charity. This is all about personal sacrifice. Because we sometimes get caught on a wheel of repeated behavior. We only go like an autopilot. We just do what we are supposed to do. We get up, we go to work. Some of us stud, go to school, and then we come back, and life is rolling, and we don't stop. Take a look around us and see what we can do more than that. Grow more than that. So it's important for us to not only being with our conscience say, okay, I gave my donation, I gave a couple cents to this person, so I'm okay with the universe, I'm okay with God. But then I will be yelling to somebody else at work or at home, and we don't understand that that's part of the being kind in general. So every sacrifice, every attitude, every action counts. Everything will take us to a better path, a better journey. This was a picture that got viral years ago in Brazil. And every time that I see it, it really makes me emotional because I cannot tell her age. I cannot tell if she's a kid, a young girl, a young woman, because the way she's dressed and the way, the body language, the suffering. When we were talking about little things make a whole difference, this person was, probably jogging at the beach, this gentleman, and for one moment he looked and he could see that person don't even have a shoe on. And for him, it's one flip-flop in his life. But for her, probably she felt like, I exist. I'm away from this shadow. I'm a human being. Somebody saw me at this point, and somebody cared about me. So maybe changed her life, maybe didn't, but at that moment, this person planted his apple tree. Remember Martin Luther King saying, even though the world could end tomorrow, I will do my part today. Even though I don't know what's going to happen with this girl, but I'm going to do my part today. I'm going to take my shoes and give it to her. The other day I saw a video on Instagram or somewhere on the internet, a gentleman in the subway. You could tell that it was cold outside because everybody was, with heavy clothing. And this gentleman was homeless. You could he just had a pair of jeans, no shirt, nothing. So he comes a young man, take off his hoodie, take his T-shirt, and give it to this man at the subway. He had some kind of condition in his hands. He could not move very well. So the young guy would dress him, put his T-shirt on his head, his arms, dress him on. Go back to his seat, get his beanie, put it on his head, on the other gentleman's head, and cared about this man. It could be any of us. We don't need to be Jeff Bezos or Oprah Winfrey or Mother Teresa or Chico Xavier or anybody. We could be just us, caring, looking around, because sometimes we are just right here, just focus on our way, and we forget to look around and pay attention. There's a lot of people needing us. It could be a phone call. It could be a word, a smile, a T-shirt, a flip-flop, a bottle of water. So yes, we can care about it. We can start living as a better human beings on this world. In 2009, they made a movie about this story. There was this lady, this family. She already had her life like stable. She had her 2 kids, basically almost raised. You know, he was a young teenager. Her daughter was a teenager. She was like, you know, I'm done with trouble with kids and everything. And then she comes across this young boy, a black African-American teenager that was struggling. He wants to be part of the school football team. He was struggling with his mother addiction with alcohol and drugs. He was living in a bad neighborhood with a lot of crimes. His friends were involved too, you know, on things like that, and poverty in general. So she sees him. She actually looks at him, because sometimes we see things, but we don't look at it, you know? We are driving, we see things going on, but we don't look, we don't pay attention. We don't want to care. But she cared enough to bring him to her house, to help him, give him a roof, a meal. And little by little, they get to know this young man and fell in love with him, and the family as a group decide to adopt him, making the long story short. He makes to the football team in the school. He goes to a college with a scholarship, and then he ends up on the NFL, the professional football. That's the picture that they're hugging there. That's the movie The Blind Side, done in 2009, where Sandra Bullock plays the mom. And when we were talking about before about this feeling that rare spirits, when they go through life, they do something so special that they feel so good about it. They can experience a little sample of like what is to live on a better world. Probably that's what Sandra Bullock felt playing this character. She gets in touch with this different energy, this different emotion, and after the movie, a couple months later, she adopts her son. And 5 years later, she would adopt a little girl. So she's mother of 2 now. So there are little things that we don't imagine, we don't understand how could affect other people, other lives. But our changing, the little changes in our life, it could change the world. It will, at some point, change the world. We are like little grains of sand. You know, if we all get away, it's not gonna work. If we all the drops in the ocean say, "Who am I to be part of this?" the ocean would dry. So we are part of this universe, and we are important, every single one of us. So it's important that we care, that we understand, and we live the way that we can make a difference. I work on the same place for 17 years, on a dealership, on a store. And next to us, there is a restaurant, a diner. And they have a person that works in the kitchen, It's a place that serves breakfast, so they're early. This one person's a character, very tall, very loud, and he smiles all the time. His name is Sugar Ray. That's the way I know him. I don't know his real name. It's Sugar Ray. He's a character. So he's there every day, 4:30 in the morning. And throughout the years, I see through the back door, the alley, he will come with a beat-up pickup truck full of junk, those metal scraps and aluminum, all kinds of it. And I will look at it and say, what's up with this guy? What he's doing all the time, even from the store that we work. If we had anything left over there, we will give it to him, donate to him. Years later, I will find out that actually he works from 4:30 in the morning to 2 o'clock when he leaves. Then he goes and collects scraps. He sells it, and he buys food with that money. He cooks, and then he feeds the homeless. That's Sugar Ray, you know? He's doing his part. I will never, in a million years, guess that's what he does. He's at work 4:30 on the kitchen, and then he finds times to collect metals, sell it, buy food, cook, and then he will feed the homeless. So yeah, we don't need to be, Mother Teresa. We don't need to wait until we are Chico Xavier, but we can be the person that gives a flip-flop, that gives a t-shirt, or Sugar Ray, that will, with a little bit, makes a lot, help a lot of people that, feel that they're seen, they care, somebody care about them. So that way, when we understand, when we leave, all the importance that we put on our life only, on a selfish way, it's all about me, my family, my children, my lands, my house. When we give up all of that, when we leave that idea behind, and we understand that we are all in this together, we are like on a better journey to happiness. And yes, we will inherit eternal life, the kingdom of heaven, pretty soon, sooner than later. I appreciate your attention. I hope that I could, pass to you this message, and I hope that brings a little light to your life as much as it brought to mine when we were researching for this tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you.